Okay. We will need ışık as well. Okay, let me share my screen again. Just hit me up if Işık wants to join. Yeah, like I said, the remaining 2 billion, the remaining 2 billion people will have a limited amount of time and will have a limited amount of money to spend on funny things, you know, hobbies, etc. And you are basically competing for money and time. I would say for time mostly, because people have, I don't know, like these 2 billion people have access to, I don't know, $20 or so, but for hobby spendings mostly, but they don't always have the time to check out your game. So you should be able to reach those players better than your competition, and you should get their time as much as you can. Yeah, this is all, I guess. So you should give a brief summary for your competition and how you are holding up with this competition. So I'm going to actually right now check my example homework. I will try to find you more homeworks like this. I asked my friends from my master. Um, let's see how I used my 12 pages. So I used 12 pages. I used some, like I used one page for my Gantt chart. I mean, it's not fitting here easily. And I used some pictures to describe, some photographs, some screenshots, and this is a detailed, really detailed budget. So there's a table as well. Yeah, and there's some world building that I have talked about. You know, like I have talked about the abilities of cards. I didn't write all. I wrote some of them, and I described them so that the investor can have, or the players can have the basic grasp, you know. And I talked about factions, you know, the clans basically in my game. And I talked about art style a little bit, talked about music a little bit. And before that, I gave some screenshots. So this is basically concept art. And before that, before all of that, I have the executive summary as we are discussing for today's lecture. So let's see, that's where I used what we learned. Oops. Let me just I lost where my executive summary is. Okay, it's here. Let's see how I described my product, okay? So we are using my homework as example. This is my product. Is there like Mutant Bucks is a two-player competitive turn-based mobile trading card game where players control bugs with special skills to fight for them. Is there anything in your minds that you don't understand from here? Uh, or I mean, is there anything you can remove from here? You may say that you can remove competitive from here, maybe, but there are games that are collaborative, that two players um, fights together. This is not one of them though. This is a competitive game. This is also a turn-based game, so it can give a clue about the multiplayer architecture that we will need to use. If it's a real-time game like PUBG or Asphalt 9, then it will be really hard to create with a small team. Uh, by the way, I didn't mention, but your uh, game idea should be doable within um, approximately 1 to 2 years. Uh, was it mentioned? Yeah, it should be doable within 2 years, and it should be more than 1 year, obviously, because you will plan um, for at least 1 year. So choose your idea accordingly, and you will have a team of 5 to 10 people. It's up to you to have a sound artist or not, but if you have a sound artist, you should pay for him or her. So these are the limitations. Keep that in mind. Um, yeah. Is there anything you would like to discuss or add or remove from this description? I'm open to ideas. As you see, I'm also talking about the platform of my game, and I'm also giving some idea of the world building. The players are controlling bugs basically with special skills. So I gave some we in the first or second lecture we have discussed genres. So I gave story genre and I gave the game genre, so gameplay genre. I have both of those covered in that, and I gave platform. So this is my elevator pitch. I can deliver this elevator pitch in an elevator easily. Um, and this is concept art I used. Um, of course, you will also need to give some related info here. It will be easier for me to note. Okay, what else? Let's go back to the a description of your target markets. Mutant Bugs game aims to fill the mobile card game gap in the Google Play Store. So I am communicating that there's a gap in mobile card game genre, and there's really a card game gap in Google Play Store because all card games are using the same mana mechanic, and there aren't many original ideas out there. And I'm, as a gamer, finding it like I can't find anything original these days. And the card games are actually easy to, like, relatively easy to create, and they they are based on a multiplayer content. So you develop your game and publish it and let your players play the game and create content. So this is a good way to have a money making machine. And uh, I like I also discussed a little bit for my inspirations. Like I got inspiration from another existing game. Um, its name is Earth Core Shattered Elements, and it was removed from the stores, so there's a gap. If we can have a similar game to this, we can make money as they did. Um, so I also discussed how my game will be different from other card games in the Google App Store. Vertical gameplay is one of that advantages that my game had. In Hearthstone, if you have played it on your mobile devices, the gameplay is horizontal, so you are holding the um, phone like this. But in my game, it will be like this. So you will be playing the game in a vertical manner, and this is a great advantage because basically using mobile with one hand is possible with vertical gameplay, and this is also one of the reasons why most hyper casual games are using vertical gameplay. They want to enable players to play the game when they are like one of their hands is busy, when they are on the bus or something like that. Uh, and my game will be between casual and mid-core, not hyper casual. That's what I mean. And another um, original thing is original damage mechanic. So I'm not relying on life points as Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone is doing. I'm relying on something else, uh, and this is an advantage, as I think. Another aspect that I have is original card crafting mechanics. So, uh, like people can customize their decks and create original cards that they can play with. They can combine two cards together before the game starts when they're building their deck, so they can create some new strategies around that. Any questions so far? Okay. Um, so I covered the first 3 points. Now we are going to talk about financial overview. I'm not sure if I covered this here. Let's discuss financial overview first. If you are an existing company, this might be as simple as highlighting recent annual sales and growth over the last year. For a startup, it might be a brief description of aspirations, such as a sales forecast goal for the next year or 3 years from now. I often recommend a simple highlights chart, a bar chart with sales and gross margin for the next 3 years. This is hard to discuss in a executive summary, but it's great if you have a chart. Um, so, by the way, this sentence also uh, discusses about targets audience, alternative seeking gamers that are bored from existing card games. Um, and the target age group is between 10 to 20 years old. It starts with 10 because the bugs, the arts will be funny and childish, but your strategies will be uh, com- like complicated enough for adults to have enjoyment. So this is my target's audience, and it's similar to an existing game called Clash Royale. So I should keep this competition in mind. I didn't mention it here, but when I'm developing the game, I should keep this in mind. Yeah, this business plan is I'm trying to give the investors attention right now. This business plan is designed to give an overview to the shareholders of how the game will look like, our business model and vision, the team who is responsible to make this vision possible, how system components communicate with each other, as well as guiding the developer create a well-planned, robust, maintainable architecture. I did some typo here. You should always proofread your documents before submitting. This slipped out of my eye, basically. Yeah, uh, these are the words that investors would like to hear. So we are spending some time on that. Uh, yeah, I started to talk more on the business stuff. I mean, financial overview. Um, I guess I missed the financial overview here, so it's better if I add the you know uh, the the plan for my growth. Uh, yeah, the business plan is for a team of 9 people. I gave some insight on the technologies that we should use, uh, and a general plan. Basic combat system will be completed after 6 months of development, and this will represent the alpha release. After that, our testers could join, and test the game. So development and test will go parallel after the first 6 months, and our beta release will be, sorry, our closed beta will be after the 14th month, and the working polished game will be released after 1.5 year. Another marketing strategy, like a marketing strategy we should use, is to create a community as soon as possible, so that we will have an easier time marketing the game. If you are creating a multiplayer game, you should keep your concurrent users high, because basically you will need to match them easily when they are searching for games. No one likes to wait minutes or hours when searching a game. Okay. Financial overview we have skipped, basically, and I have briefly described my team. This is especially important for startup companies. Investors want to know who is behind the business idea and why my team is the ones that should do this business. Uh, I mean, if we have, if our team is lacking at some aspect, we should also give an insight on how we should fill those gaps. I don't have the marketing expertise, so I can ask the investor to find me a marketer, basically. So I can use my investor as a mentor, preferably. And I can also lay out some potential partners or candidates in my mind, and briefly mention them. I did this not in the executive summary, but during the design document parts, as far as I remember. And I will need some funding, obviously. I have discussed this, not in my executive summary, but it will be, like I said, better if I drive a chart of my costs and the revenue I will gain from that. It would be better. Any questions so far? Okay. Also, there are some other topics that our executive summary may need to cover. evidence of early success. Like I told you, like uh, if a similar game had a big success, then I can talk about those and uh, like make my investor trust my game idea. But like um, as a general rule, I love game ideas that go like this. It's similar to X game, but it's different with Y. So game should be familiar enough that resembles another existing game, or existing two games. Maybe your game could be a bridge between two existing genres, uh, and it should differ by something so that people will likely to find your game original. So I did the same thing in my executive summary. I said why it is similar to Earth, Earth Core, and why it is different. It's different basically because Earth Core is not on the stores right now. So it had some good success, but it's not here right now. So we are going to fill the gap basically. Uh, I discussed about future milestones here, like I said, 3 months, alpha releases, beta releases, polished game release, etc. Um, the importance of that is, um, if your game is a serious game, like a military game or something like that, uh, your um your investors should know how much time they have for legal documents, and it's better to know, like it's better to set the plan before starting. Yeah, obviously. And if you are trying to lend some money, you should show your previous successes, or like your bank account, existing bank accounts, etc. But if you are a developer trying to make your investor, like make your CEO interested in your game idea, then this is not the case, obviously. uh, okay, the rest is for investors. um, you can use your existing executive summaries to present your idea to investors, like I said. And investors need to do some due diligence before investing. So due diligence means previous analysis of your future possible partners, okay, or your um, product that you want to buy. You do due diligence. You check like you check the things that are stated in design, like executive summary. You check the graphs are um, realistic and in line with the real world. And if you have any, you should mention your previous startup experience or game development or game design experience. Obviously, this will make them trust that you can, like you are the good fit that can do this job. Otherwise they can, uh, like, even if they liked your idea, they don't want to do this idea with you. They can even employ some other developers, etc. So if they trust that you can do this, it's all good. And the way to prove this is previous successes or prototypes, basically. So your game prototype, if it's easier to make, like if it can, yeah, like if your prototype can be do done in I don't know, 1-2 months. Just do this, and after that try to seek out investors. uh, okay, another important thing is, we covered this basically. So another important thing is mentioning your exit strategy. This is something that no one in my class did, but it's really important. You should ideally have three scenarios, like a optimistic scenario, a pessimistic scenario, and a like average realistic scenario. And if things go wrong, uh, you should have an exit strategy to cut your expenses, you know. What is my exit strategy? If any threats appear, threat is basically a roadblock that my team cannot jump. And a threat is basically something that can increase the produce product producement time. Nice to have features in blue may be left undone. So I have separated the features in my plan. Uh, the ones that are colored in blue are the ones that can be left undone. And I also suggested pair programming. So pair programming is a programming um, plan that involves around two programmers working together. One of them is writing the code, and the other one is watching and guiding him. In worst case, though, investor will have the option of selling some of his shares back to the team lead, uh, which is another shareholder. So I'm basically communicating that uh, the lead developer has some money in his bank account, and he will be obligated to buy back from the investor if you know the risk is going high for the investor. This ratio of the shares could be discussed later. You know, maybe lead developer can promise to buy back, I don't know, 15 of the shares, 15% of the shares, etc., etc. Um, and for that, I like the lead developer should obviously state some bank accounts. But this is not something common. Like suggesting this is not something that common. I'm not sure if it's that common. Okay. Be persuasive, but focus on the facts. I guess we did this somehow. And we should avoid obvious cliches like, I don't know, groundbreaking investments, I don't know, like crazy game idea or something like that. Uh, you should instead uh, persuade your investor with with the things that are not obvious. You should keep your persuasion on a subconscious level, right? Um, okay. Um, and some other tips for writing effective executive summary. You should think your executive summary as a pitch. Like it doesn't have to be an elevator pitch. I mean, your executive summary could be something longer that could be communicated, like delivered in 5 minutes or something like that. Another tip is writing this last. This is a good idea because you are basically summarizing all of the things in your documents. So if you have a document first, it will be easier for you. And even if you don't write it last, you can. I mean, you may have like your synchronization with the documents and your uh, summary can be off. So you should fix this by proofreading your executive summary. Like we have discussed, you should keep your executive summary short, 1-2 pages. It says longer than 5 pages is long, but I would say even if it's 3 pages, I would consider it long. You should keep it simple and on points. You should prior prioritize your sections in a good way. Like you should communicate your important points first, and you should have a hook to catch some like some attention. And you know, you can um, use this as a summary. So it will be the first chapter of a formal plan later. Um, Investors often ask startups to send a summary memo instead of a full business plan. So you can use your uh, executive summary there as well. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. Uh, any other things that you want to add or you want to ask? Go ahead. Any questions about the homework, by the way? We will be covering, like I said, each
I'm
part.
actually curious about the budget thing, because like, do we like, of course we have to like make it realistic as possible, but maybe like, can we use sites like career.net
Sure.
for or budget planning maybe?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know more than you about the payments, of course, since I'm in the sector. But you should indeed check how much money our good artists are making, how much money are developers making, etc. I mean, if you don't have an artist, you shouldn't search on that. But if you have a visual artist, then you may need to check. You can also talk to people in the industry. Um, but I would advise you find a source, from the internet. So uh, if it's a survey, this is the great thing, because it will be about more than one person. It will be uh, basically a summary of hundreds of people. So if you can find surveys, this is better and more realistic. But
Do we have any like budget limitation? Of course, like we will have maximum of 10 people. So what's the maximum budget we can have? Do we
yeah,
have any
so I
limitation?
mean, so you should also consider the amount of time that you will spend together, and you should budget accordingly. If your total cost for 1 month is I don't know, $100,000, and if you are planning to deliver your game after 1 year, then your budgets will be more than like your costs annually will be more than $1 million, and we didn't include marketing costs. So you should also keep those in mind. But if you have a I don't know, team of, let's say, 5 people, and if you are giving some like, I don't know, like if they are from Turkey, let's say that they are from Turkey. Uh, I don't know, your total, like people's total wage won't be more than $15,000. So like it will be, if you have a smaller team, obviously it will be easier. And if you have a, I don't know, multiplayer game, you should be better off hiring some professionals with high amount of experience, so that your game will be easier to scale later, and will hold up to high number of concurrent users. You should keep those in mind. Like I said, since I am not good at marketing, I specifically hired. I specifically mentioned hiring a marketing guy that will help us out with the planning of our product. And if an investor knows a guy that can do this, of course, he can also suggest working together. Um, so yeah, these. I mean, you will of course search for uh, the actual numbers on the internet and on, like, and from the industry, and you will come to a basically conclusion at some point. And you will, I mean, it's okay if you share your resources, and you should have, by the way, when you're calculating the wages and costs, so that I can check. I mean, if you are giving the source, and if what you wrote is wrong, then it's the source's fault. But if you are not giving the source, it's your fault. So it's I mean, this is always like this in academic fields. uh, so it's better if you include the source. Okay. Anything else? I'm not sure if I understood your question. uh, okay. uh, then this is all I wanted to say. See you later, guys.
See you.
See you.
Mm.